Howdy folks, so for tonight I was thinking we could do something a little different. As some of you have seen, I recently went to Arizona and I was about to say destroyed, explored the desert with one of my close buddies from back home, and we also did a ton of whiskey hunting. But during that whiskey hunting, I discovered this $13 bottle of McKenna, and I couldn't help myself but to buy it. I had never seen it in Virginia, and so I figured for $13, what do I really have to lose? I stuffed my backpack and my suitcase full of whiskey on the way back here, and luckily this is the only bottle that actually broke, so that's why you see I don't have the actual top that came with it, but it's the least expensive bottle that I had in the batch, so it's not bad. So tonight what I did was, after I'd asked you all if you had ever tried it and your thoughts on the bottle, some of you said that you hated it, some of you said that it's great in cocktails, some of you said that you actually don't mind sipping it straight. So I decided to exercise a little bit of self-restraint, and so I've waited to this moment to taste it all. So I made a cocktail. I just made an old-fashioned with it. Some of you all said that you use it for your old-fashions, and then I have it straight up right here in this Glencairn glass. And so I've already warmed up my palate with an Old Elk old-fashioned, so I'm going to sip it here and kind of give you my thoughts unfiltered, and we'll see how this goes. Let's see. Honestly not bad. I would honestly very much use this $13 bottle of McKenna for a batch cocktail, potentially at a party or something like that. I make batch cocktails for my friends when I have them over during normal times. And I have this bottle of 10-year McKenna because I'm pretty sure this is the bottle that you all usually see, and the one that you all usually have a hard time also finding. And so people typically, actually, I was going to say they typically love this 10-year McKenna, but I also know that there are some very strong opinions of those who hate it. I actually want to revisit it myself. I find it enjoyable, but usually only when I haven't spent majority of the day drinking bourbon, because as we know, like, bourbon isn't known for that sharpness. So if I, spend the front half of the day drinking like Weller 12 and other light, smooth bourbons like that, and I switch to McKenna, my palate can actually find it to be very abrasive. But I think if, I didn't spend my day like that, it could be totally fine. So far, let's take another sip. Would recommend this for a cocktail, especially $13. Like, you can't really beat that. Like, $13 freaking dollars. Like, oh my God. I say it has a little bit of bite to it, kind of that you would typically probably equate with a rye, but that's because it's only been aged for 4 years. So, like I said, $13, can't really beat it. I would totally mix this in a cocktail, especially if you are having a party after everybody's vaccinated and everything, and need to make a batch of them, and you're just looking for something cheap. I think with taxes and everything, I ended up paying a total of $15 for this bottle, so that can't beat that. And honestly, I genuinely don't mind it straight either. I would totally sip that straight. Again, I keep going back to the $13 figure, but for $13, you can't really beat that. For those who don't know, in my area, this bottle of McKenna goes for around $50. I know people pay more, obviously, like after MSRP. If you can't find it, people upcharge you. But I paid $50 for this bad boy, and I've created some relationship with liquor store owners that continue to allow me to get these bottles. I try not to deal with people that mark up the bottles too much. But I'm actually kind of shocked that this is $13. I know some of you said that it was complete trash straight. But $13, man, like several bottles of whiskey, several bottles of good whiskey. That wasn't bad to me. Yeah, I would honestly love to see some of you do this in a blind test to see if you would pick it. I'm not really somebody, some people consider me a whiskey snob, but I wouldn't really say that. I very much try to go by the taste, and yeah. If you find this bottle, I would highly recommend giving it a try. Even if you don't like it straight, I would say that you can use this bottle for bourbon cocktails. But yeah, so that's all that I have for you this Wednesday, and I hope the rest of your week goes well. Cheers, folks.